The projected timeline shows the Lake Powell project in the preliminary licensing stage. An open house by the Washington County Conservancy District laid out the anticipated timeline and route of the estimated billion-dollar project.
We haven't even started an environmental impact statement yet. That's what we're trying to work towards, and in that process, it would further evaluate this project.
The Lake Powell Pipeline will span 139 miles from the Glen Canyon Dam through Kane County into Arizona and then back into Washington County. The underground line will be built through elevations just over 5,000 feet, ending at around 3,000 feet at Sand Hollow Reservoir. Numerous hydro stations will be built to store and pump the water. The pipeline is expected to deliver more than 86,000 feet of Utah's share of the Colorado River.
Well, the question is, do you really want to not develop Utah's water and send it to the Gulf of Mexico or to California and send our kids down there to work instead of having them work here, where they can stay here and be around their families and the culture they're used to?
Concerned citizens of Washington County are not only worried about the endurance of the water supply, but also the final cost of the project, which to this point has not been completely spelled out on paper. Those attending the open house were leaving both written and verbal concerns.
The Great Salt Lake pumps haven't worked one day. By the time you get this pipeline in, the way Lake Powell is losing water, it's going to be dripping.
Washington County residents who already pay for water on their property tax bill wonder what increase they might see when the project begins.
I don't think they've covered the full cost of what it's going to be. And if the growth doesn't happen, which is where they say they're going to get their money back, who's going to pay for the pipeline? It's going to be Washington County residents.
It's a process that allows you to analyze all these issues and come to a final project and then work through and get it designed and decide how you're going to ultimately pay for it.
I was hoping they could explain why the public doesn't deserve to see the debt schedule, the schedule of payments that the Washington County residents are going to be forced to pay for 50 years.
You've got to get much further down the road before you're going to have this to where you really know what it's going to cost you.
Residents in the county not using the water supply still have to pay their fair share.
They came down Main Street with a water line and tied us onto their water line, but we're shut off. We don't get any of their water, and they don't get any of ours at this point.
Our kids are educated, but somebody else paid for them. And so that's kind of how we've done it in Utah for a long time. It's been a model that has worked wonderfully.
Those in full support of the pipeline say no matter what the cost, residents will find a way to keep the water flowing in Washington County.
When they started talking about Quail Creek, we had this very same kind of outcry that we didn't need it, that it was too expensive. And of course it was built, and Sand Hollow was built following that with the same opposition.
We don't really have the luxury of taking something off the table before it's been completely evaluated.
The pipeline, which has already been approved by the state of Utah, is projected to be completed by the year 2025. In St. George, Melissa Anderson, KCSG News.